It started with a notification. Alex had been scrolling through his phone after a long day at work when the message appeared. Download the Death Clock app. Know your final hour. At first, he thought it was just another prank app, the kind that flooded social media with fake psychic readings and life expectancy calculators. But something about the sleek, minimalist design intrigued him. The logo was a simple black clock face with red hands ticking backward. Curiosity got the better of him. He downloaded it. The app opened instantly, no login required. A single prompt appeared. Enter your name and birth date to receive your death hour. Alex hesitated. He wasn't superstitious, never had been, but there was something unnervingly personal about the request. Still, he typed in his information and hit enter. The screen blinked. Then a countdown timer appeared. You will die in 7 days, 14 hours, 32 minutes, and 11 seconds. Alex stared at the numbers, his pulse quickening. It was ridiculous. A game, a glitch, a joke. But then the timer began to count down, real time, ticking away each second with ruthless precision. He tapped the screen, refreshed the app, even uninstalled and reinstalled it. The result was the same. He laughed nervously, shaking off the unease creeping up his spine. But that night, something happened. As he lay in bed, the numbers still flashing in his mind, his phone buzzed again. A news alert. Local man dies suddenly, exact time matches app prediction. Alex's breath caught. He clicked the link. The article described a man who had collapsed at a coffee shop earlier that day, exactly at the time his death clock had displayed. Alex's stomach twisted. He wasn't the only one who had downloaded the app. The countdown begins. Alex couldn't sleep. Every time he closed his eyes, the countdown flashed behind his eyelids. 6 days, 23 hours, 59 minutes, 47 seconds, 46, 45. Each tick of the invisible clock tightening the vice around his chest. He had tried everything to ignore it, watching videos, reading articles, even calling his sister to distract himself, but the numbers refused to fade. The next morning, he decided to test the app's accuracy. If it was just a cruel prank, then surely there were flaws. He needed proof. He searched online for others who had downloaded the app. To his horror, the results flooded his screen. Dozens of forum posts, social media threads, and news articles detailing people who had received their death hour and, in many cases, died exactly as predicted. Some had died in accidents, others in seemingly random incidents, falls, heart attacks, sudden collapses. None of them had lived past their countdown. A cold sweat broke out across his skin. He found a subreddit dedicated to the app, /death clock. Thousands of users had joined, sharing their experiences, trying to find patterns, ways to cheat fate. Some claimed the app was a hoax created by a tech genius with a morbid sense of humor. Others believed it was something far worse, a window into the future, a glimpse of an unavoidable fate. One post stood out. A user named at Doom24 had written, "I've accepted it. The app knows. It doesn't just predict, it controls. I tried to leave the country, packed my bags, booked a flight. The plane never took off. Engine failure. Now I have 12 hours left. I can feel it coming." Alex's fingers trembled as he scrolled down to the comments. "Same here. I tried to commit suicide. It didn't work. The app still counts down. Whatever this is, we can't escape it." It's not fate. It's something else. Something watching us. If you see the numbers turn red, run. It's too late. Alex's stomach churned. He glanced at his own countdown. 6 days, 21 hours, 14 minutes, 3 seconds. Then the screen flickered. For a brief moment, the numbers turned red, just like the comment had warned. And then they snapped back to normal. Alex gasped, throwing the phone onto the bed as if it had burned him. His heart pounded. Was this some kind of glitch? A psychological trick? Or was something watching him right now, ensuring that his countdown reached 0? He needed to get out. He grabbed his keys and headed for the door. As he stepped outside, the sky seemed darker than usual, the air heavier. A chill ran down his spine. The countdown was still ticking, and he had no idea how to stop it. The truth behind the app. Alex knew he had to act fast. If the app was more than just a prediction, if it was somehow influencing events, then he needed to understand how it worked before his countdown reached 0. He started with the basics, scouring the internet for any trace of the app's origin. The death clock had no official website, no developer listed in the App Store. It had appeared out of nowhere, spreading through social media like wildfire. The few who had tried to contact customer support received only one response: "The future cannot be changed." Alex dug deeper, following every lead he could find. He discovered that the app had first surfaced in an obscure underground forum, posted by a user known only as the Reaper. The thread contained nothing but a download link and a single message. "Time waits for no one. How long do you have left?" No one knew who the Reaper was. The account had been deleted, leaving behind only rumors and speculation. Some believed it was the work of a rogue AI, a machine learning model trained on patterns of mortality. Others insisted it was something far older. A curse disguised as technology. But one theory kept surfacing in the forums. The app wasn't predicting death. It was causing it ... Alex's hands trembled as he read the posts. Users described strange occurrences, glitches in reality, people vanishing, moments repeating themselves like broken loops. Some claimed they had seen figures standing at the edge of their vision, watching them as their countdown dwindled. Others said they could hear whispers in their dreams, voices counting down in languages they didn't recognize. One user wrote, "It's not just the app, it's something inside it. I tried to delete it, but it comes back. I tried to destroy my phone and it repaired itself. It's like it's alive, like it's waiting." Alex swallowed hard. He had tried deleting the app twice already. Both times it had reappeared on his home screen without explanation. He had assumed it was a bug. Now he wasn't so sure. He needed more answers. His search led him to a private message board, a hidden network, where only those who had downloaded the app were allowed to join. Registration was simple. Enter your countdown. Alex hesitated, then typed in his remaining time. 6 days, 18 hours, 42 minutes. The site accepted his input. The message board was filled with desperate people, all clinging to the hope that someone, somewhere, had found a way to cheat death. Some claimed they had discovered patterns, ways to delay the inevitable. Others had given up entirely, documenting their final moments like digital obituaries. Then Alex found it. A single post, buried beneath hundreds of others. The title sent a chill down his spine. How to Beat the Clock. He clicked on it. The post contained only one line. Find the red numbers. Alex's breath hitched. He looked at his phone. The countdown was still ticking, but this time the numbers were red. And they weren't counting down anymore. They were counting up. The unraveling. Alex's heart pounded as he stared at the screen. The countdown. No, the count up was relentless. The numbers climbing higher with each passing second. 6 days, 18 hours, 42 minutes, 11 seconds, 12, 13. His breath came in short gasps. This wasn't supposed to happen. The app was supposed to predict death, not rewrite time itself. Then the screen flickered. A new message appeared. "You were not supposed to see this." Alex stumbled back, nearly dropping his phone. The text pulsed red, as if alive. He tried to close the app, but the screen froze. A low, mechanical hum filled the air, vibrating through his bones. The walls of his apartment seemed to stretch, the ceiling warping like melted wax. And then the whispers began. Faint at first, like distant static, but growing louder, clearer. Voices overlapping, speaking in a language he didn't recognize. Some sounded frantic, others eerily calm, and beneath it all, a voice. His own, counting down in perfect sync with the numbers on his screen. 5 days, 17 hours, 39 minutes, 51 seconds, 50:49. Alex clamped his hands over his ears, but the sound was inside him, reverberating through his skull. He stumbled toward the door, desperate to escape, but the hallway beyond was wrong. The walls pulsed like veins, the floor undulating beneath his feet. Shadows stretched unnaturally, forming shapes that flickered in and out of sight. Then the figures appeared. They stood at the end of the hall, just beyond the threshold of his apartment. Their bodies were distorted, elongated, their faces featureless except for hollow, glowing eyes. They didn't move, didn't speak. They simply watched. The whispers grew louder. You were not supposed to see this. You were not supposed to see this. The phrase repeated, looping endlessly, as if the very fabric of reality was breaking apart. Alex backed away, his pulse hammering in his ears. The figures didn't advance, but the air around them thickened, pressing in like an unseen force. Then one of them raised a hand. The numbers on his phone jumped forward. 4 days, 12 hours. Alex screamed. The world blurred. When he opened his eyes, he was no longer in his apartment. He stood in a vast, empty void, the sky above a swirling abyss of shifting colors. The figures surrounded him now, their hollow gazes locked onto his. The countdown still ticked in his mind, but it was different now, faster, erratic. A voice echoed through the void, deep and mechanical. The clock does not predict, it enforces. Alex's breath hitched. What are you? The figures did not answer. Instead, they parted, revealing something behind them, a massive, jagged structure that pulsed with the same red glow as his phone. It was shaped like a clock, but its hands moved in unnatural ways, spinning forward and backward, stopping and restarting at random intervals. And then he saw it, a body lying at the base of the clock, motionless. Alex's own face stared back at him, frozen in a look of pure terror. The voice returned. You were not supposed to see this. The numbers on his phone turned black, and then the countdown resumed, this time starting from 0. The final hour. Alex's breath came in ragged gasps as the countdown resumed. 0 days, 0 hours, 59 seconds, 58, 57. He stumbled backward, his mind reeling. He was staring at his own corpse, yet he was still alive. How was that possible? The figures did not move. They simply watched, their hollow eyes fixed on him, their forms flickering like static. The massive clock behind them loomed impossibly large, its hands spinning erratically, as if caught in a storm of time itself. Then the voice returned, deep, mechanical, and filled with something that almost sounded like amusement. You were not supposed to see this. Alex's fingers trembled as he looked down at his phone. The numbers continued to count down, each second slipping away faster than the last. He had already died once. His body lay at the base of the clock, and yet he was still here, still conscious. He took a hesitant step forward, his heart pounding. What is this place? The figures parted slightly, revealing more of the structure behind them. It wasn't just a clock, it was a machine. Gears the size of buildings churned within its frame, wires and cables stretching into the void like veins. The entire thing pulsed with a sickly red light, its energy pressing against Alex's skin like an unseen force. Then the voice spoke again, and this time it was different, softer, almost human. "We are the keepers of the clock." Alex's throat tightened. What are you?" The figures remained silent, but the voice continued. "We do not decide who dies. We only maintain the balance." Alex's pulse pounded in his ears. "Then why am I here?" The hands of the clock slowed, grinding to a halt. The void around him pulsed, and the figures shifted, their hollow eyes narrowing. "Because you saw the truth." The words sent a chill down Alex's spine. "What truth?" The voice did not answer. Instead, the clock groaned, its gears straining as it began to move again. The hands spun wildly, twisting forward and backward in chaotic patterns. The void around Alex darkened, the air growing heavier. Then the whispers returned, louder, more insistent. "You were not supposed to see this. You were not supposed to see this. You were not supposed to see this." The words looped endlessly, echoing through the void, reverberating through his skull. The figures advanced, their elongated limbs moving like broken marionettes. Alex stumbled back, his breath shallow. The countdown on his phone reached. 0 days, 0 hours, 0 minutes. A single second remained. Alex braced himself, his eyes squeezed shut, waiting for the end. But nothing happened. He opened his eyes. The void was gone. He was back in his apartment. The clock on his wall ticked softly. His phone lay on the bed, the screen dark. And yet, something was wrong. He looked down at his hands. They were trembling, not from fear, but from something else, something deep in his bones. He had died. He had seen the clock, and now he was something else. The phone buzzed. Alex reached for it, his fingers numb. The death clock app had returned. This time, it displayed only one word: watch. The aftermath. Alex sat in the dim glow of his apartment, his phone resting on the table in front of him. The word, watch, pulsed faintly on the screen as if waiting for him to obey. He wanted to look away, to pretend this was all a dream. But the weight of what he had seen, the void, the figures, the monstrous clock, pressed down on him like an iron shroud. He had died. He had seen the truth behind the app, the mechanism that dictated life and death, and somehow he had come back. But he wasn't the same. He could feel it in his bones, in the way the air around him seemed heavier, as if the world itself recognized that he had stepped beyond the veil and returned. The phone buzzed again. Another notification. He hesitated, then tapped the screen. The death clock app opened, but this time it didn't display a countdown. Instead, it showed a list. Names, dozens of them, each with a corresponding countdown. Some were already at 0, others still had time. Alex's breath caught. He recognized one of the names. Emma Reyes. 12 hours, 34 minutes, 12 seconds. His neighbor, a woman in her mid-20s who always smiled when they passed each other in the hallway. His hands shook. He had to warn her. He stood abruptly grabbing his keys, but as he reached for the door, the phone buzzed again. Another name appeared. Derek Kim. 11 hours, 59 minutes, 3 seconds. His co-worker, then another, and another. Sophia Carter. 10 hours, 42 minutes, 51 seconds. Marcus Lee. 9 hours, 17 minutes, 28 seconds. Alex's pulse pounded. They were all people he knew, people who had never downloaded the app. But now they were on the list, and the countdown had already begun. The whisper returned, curling through his mind like smoke. You were not supposed to see this. This time, it wasn't a warning. It was a promise. They were coming for them. And now, Alex could do nothing but watch.